What's going on? What's going on, everybody? Welcome on in to the 411 podcast. It feels so great to say that. It's been such a long time. Tracy, what's going on? Juka, what's going on? Drop it in the comments. Let me know where you are calling from. We have SOS out there. Um, SOS, where are you at these days? I know you moved a couple times. And also, and if you don't want to say the exact area, just give me in a roundabout area. And you probably told me, but you know how it is with all this stuff going on. Yeah, we just gonna leave it at that. Mr. Nate Perry, my boy, all the way from Brooklyn, New York, is in the building tonight. Man, we're gonna go in. Nate Perry has definitely been very supportive in my world, so we're gonna get into all of that. Last night we had Mr. Alex Coquito all the way from Puerto Rico, another one of my brothers, and him and I have a show called Midnight Vibes. But before we get started, I want to say I have to give a very special thank you to my executive producer, my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, for allowing me to come out here and serve each and every one of you today. Long time ago, I'm not going to really say a long time ago, but basically coming into this podcasting world, I realized that it's not about me. It's about each and every one of you out there that continuously come out and check me out, who like, comment, subscribe, share, text me on a day-to-day basis. When I was gone, for a whole year, people were texting me, sending me things, and DMing me. And I just want to say thank you so much, because without you out there supporting me, I'm not quite sure that I would still be here podcasting, doing the things that I'm doing. There are so many times where I wanted to throw in the towel. So many times things didn't go right. And I would always question why, why should I keep doing this? And there will be these burning questions that come up, or there will be some things that will come up where at the end of the show, I'd be like, you know what? That's the reason why I need to continuously keep doing what I'm doing. And so I'm here for each and every one of y'all. And this is about growth. This is about education. This is about empowerment. This is about encouragement. And, we get a little bit of entertainment in here because you know how we do. Oh, ooh, I didn't know SOS, you were that close. Oh, we definitely going to hang out this summer. I didn't know you were that close. Wow. All right. So we have Virginia up in the house tonight. We got Brooklyn in the house tonight. I'm not quite sure. I'm going to just call you Apple. I've seen you for a minute out there on TikTok. Let me know where you are calling from if you'd like to. It is. Some people don't want to say where they're calling from, but just give me a roundabout area. So welcome on in to the 411 podcast. I want to say Facebook, y'all did the thing last night. So when I am out here podcasting, when everything's rolling and flowing, if there's a bunch of comments that come up, I'm probably not going to get to them. So if there's people out there, you can text me. I'll get to the comments and stuff most of the time after the show is already done. But I had no idea that Facebook, y'all showed up the way y'all did last night. Sometimes it looks like there's only one person out there. And sometimes that could be only one or two people out there. Who knows? But it was like 20 some odd people out there on Facebook alone last night. So I want to say thank you so much for that. I had no idea. I was just doing my thing, talking to Alex Coquito, and sometimes on Instagram too. The numbers. What's going on? Oh man, it's been a minute. It's been over a year. We have the Dark Knight up in the building. My cousin is in the building, and I want to say thank you to my cousin Kim for supporting and holding me down on Facebook. I really do appreciate that. My family has done a lot for me over the years. At first they're like, "What is this dude doing with this podcasting?" And sometimes when I don't want to say sometimes, because most of the time, and I don't want to speak for him, but when God is doing a thing in your life, it's not for everybody to know. So at first, people are going to be looking at you like, what's going on? And then after a while, once they see what's going on, or they see what's happening in other areas with other people and how you affect people other than what's going on in your four walls. Sometimes they get it at that moment. But yeah, I know. Like my family, I know it is what it is. But I thank each and every one of y'all for hanging in there and supporting me during this time frame. And we here, we live, we open 411 podcast, Disc 3 Evolution. Uh, Miss Lavella, if you out there, Nate Perry is from Brooklyn, so Brooklyn is in the house. Vic, what's going on? NW, what's going on? Latoya, please let me know where y'all calling from. Drop it in the comments and let's get this thing going. David Wayne Fox also is from Brooklyn, New York. Nikki Styles from Philly, thank you so much. JA, thank you for hooking me up. And for those of you, I know a lot of y'all commented on, the pictures that I've been posting recently. That's all Nate Perry. And we're going to have this whole conversation of how it went down, but that was all Nate's concepts and all his ideas. Most of the photo shoots that I do, it's all Nate Perry coming up with the concept and stuff. So Nikki Styles will hook me up with, clothing and jewelry, stuff like that. But then as far as, how things flow, which we won't get into that, that's all Nate Perry. So let's get into it. We're talking about thanks. We're talking about being thankful. We're talking about having a gratitude of attitude, attitude of gratitude. Listen, I got it all backwards already, and I ain't even got into it yet. Having an attitude of gratitude. And basically, when somebody has done you dirty or somebody has done something wrong in your life, you have felt betrayed. You have felt like something has happened to you. And sometimes we get pushed in this corner or we look at ourselves in the mirror and say, why me? But there's all a lesson behind some of these things that happen. So once you realize it, and after you get done crying and playing this same sad song and beating yourself up, once you get over that process and that part, something may shift and click. And that's where the attitude of gratitude comes in and you start to be a little bit thankful. So I walk around and I say thank you. What's going on, Sigma Zone Productions? How are you? Is that ATL in the building too? Let me know. But what I do today is I walk around with an attitude of gratitude and I say thank you. I say thank you to the people who have done some things to me in my life. And without them doing the things that they've done, I don't think that I would be where I'm at here today. There would be no 411 podcast. There would be no reading between the lines. I wouldn't be out here, encouraging, empowering, and giving myself the way that I, give serving to so many different people. So I could easily say I wanted this back, I wanted that back, I wanted the house, I want the cars, I want, that lifestyle that I had before, but there would be none of this. And after all of this comes off and I turn off the, cameras and all of that stuff, one thing that I'm so thankful for today is that I have me. So even though I had to hit rock bottom in 2020, I'm here in 2023 and I found me. And that's the most beautiful thing and the most powerful thing. And without every single person out there who has done something wrong to me, I don't think that I would be here today. So I have to say thank you for leaving me. Thank you for, cheating on me. Thank you for stealing from me. Thank you for lying on me. Thank you for, jeopardizing my career in the workplace, because it's been in your own four walls. Sometimes it's been in the workplace. It's been multiple people, and it's not just, one specific person. And I know that I've been out here reckless sometimes, speaking reckless about people and going about it the wrong way. But like I said, after you get done going through what you're going through, and I'm only speaking from experience, I can't tell you what to do. I only just have my life as an example. Something clicks and something says, you know what? We doing good. I remember my friend Shantae saying, listen, time will heal things. And I didn't believe it at the time, but trust and believe, once you get with yourself and you sit with yourself over a period of time, things will heal. If you got the right mindset, things will heal if you surround yourself by the right people and the right things and get yourself in a good spot. So that's where we at today. Song of the day, I want to thank you by Alicia Meyer, released in 1981. I was 1 year old when this joint came out, and I know that y'all know this song. I want to thank you, Heavenly Father, for shining your light on me. It's been a long time. You know this song. So she's speaking about, you know, finally finding love. But, I remix it here on the Form One podcast, and I'm speaking about finally finding myself. So, it took me a long time to get to a point where I can actually find myself and know who I am. Because before I didn't know who I was. And when you don't know who you are, trust and believe people are going to try to mold you and shape you and bend you into what they want you to be. So when you know who you are, they know who you are. If you don't know who you are, trust and believe you are up for some challenges and you up for some sticky situations, because that's exactly what it's going to be like, being twisted, molded, bended, and people pleasing, and gotta do this, gotta do that, gotta go here, gotta go there. What's going on, Alan? How are you? So that's where we at today. Song of the day, I want to thank you by Alicia Myers, released in 1981. We here. We are here. Now let me see what Mr. Nate Perry got going on out there. Let's try to go ahead and pull him up. And while I am pulling Mr. Nate Perry up, let's see. I think I got something for y'all when it comes to gratitude. So this one here is from Melody Beatty. Melody Beatty says, gratitude makes sense of our past. It brings peace for today and creates a vision of tomorrow. I'm gonna slow that down and break it down piece by piece. Gratitude makes sense of our past. So again, I just spoke about how things happened in the past, and we might feel a certain way, and we might, feel a little negative about the situation. But gratitude, once you start to, have a sense of gratitude, being thankful for it, it makes sense of all why it happened. You start to say, oh wow, you know what, thank you so much for that happen. Thank you, God, for sending that person down my path, because that's who did it. Like, and I'm not going to try to get into it too much, but sometimes when evil people come down our paths, when the crooks come down our paths, there's something in us that we didn't learn. And that's why God was like, you know what, let me go ahead and send this person, because I tried to show you this way. I tried to tell you this way, and yet you keep on doing things yourself. So you didn't learn a lesson. So let me go ahead and send another person your way. I had that conversation again, like, why is the same people keep showing up time and time and time and time again? I just got rid of this one. Why is this one showing up? If you were in that type of situation where you feel that the same situations keep happening over and over again, you might need to do some self-reflection and look in the mirror and say, listen, what is it that I need to learn here today? Because something's not right. It can't always be her fault. It can't always be his fault. It can't always be them. If you ever around somebody where they're always pointing a finger and blaming, be very careful, because next thing you know, you might wake up and you might start pointing a finger and blaming just like the people that you hang around. So, whole nother story. Gratitude makes sense of our past, brings peace for today. When you can let things go and you can breathe and be in peace and not worried about what happened last week, last month, last year, and just let that stuff flow right on off of you, that's when you know you made it. That's what real peace is, when you ain't even worried about trying to get back at anybody. You ain't even feeling ill will about it. You can just say, you know what? Thank you. Thank you so much for this process and this journey that I had to go through, because right now I'm in peace. I ain't worried about a thing. That's what I'm talking about. That's the mode that I'm in right here today. I could care less. And once you have that type of mindset, it creates a better vision for tomorrow. You can start to see clearly, because you don't have all that stuff clouding. You don't have all that BS in your mind. You don't have all that nonsense in your ear. You ain't playing them same sad records over and over and over again. You're able to listen. Let me try to get Mr. Nate Perry in here. What's up? What's up? Now, I don't know what's going on, but I'm going to try one more time and see what's good here. We got to get this thing right. Last night, we had some little struggles, but we should be able to do it tonight. I don't know. Oh, here we go. It was on me. It was on me this time. All right. I think we got it. No. Again, it might be on my end, but it looks like you ain't able to join. So I'm gonna have to call you on the phone because this is like day two of having issues. But it's all good. We gonna work it out. We are going through track 10 tonight. Thank you. It's about having an attitude of gratitude, not holding on to things from the past, not keeping people stuck in our personal dungeons that are in our mind.
Yo, yo.
What's good? What's good? What's up?
What's going on? What's going on?
Welcome on in to the 411. I don't know what was going on, but I was trying to pull you up on IG, but I gotta check that out. Something's not right. Let me try it again.
Check it again. I just sent you a request. Yeah.
Nah, it's doing it again. It might be something on my end. I gotta check something out. Of course, I'm gonna have to do it. Oh, let's see. Yeah, I don't know what's up, but anyway, we got you here. So what's good?
All right, perfect. Not much, brother. Just relaxing and pretty much what we talked about before. Pretty much what we talked about, like 15, 20 minutes ago. Just relaxing and enjoying my peace.
Now, I wanna make sure that we can all hear you. Can everybody hear Nate? If not, drop it in the comments. Let me know. I'm having a hard time because I got some feedback going on my end. So let me know. Are you?
I said that I'm just like enjoying my peace right now. Like that. That's what I'm focused on right now. Is just enjoying my peace.
And that's exactly it. Like I was talking about. Like once you let things go and you ain't worried too much about the past, what happened yesterday is yesterday. Today is a new day. So I know you heard a little bit about what I was talking about as far as being thankful for some betrayal, some you know nonsense, some BS that may have happened in your life. So you want to shed some light on that topic that I had, or any specific situations you want to let us know about?
In terms of being thankful, I'm just thankful for everything, right? You can't just be thankful for the good times, right? Because how would you learn to value those good times without the bad times? I'm thankful for a lot of things. Like you said, you spoke on it earlier. Like, thank you for hurting me. Like, thank you to the people that have done these amount of things as well. And I think my perspective changed when I stopped trying to get people to understand my perception, right? Because sometimes we're so desperate to prove our point, we want people to see our point of view from our perception, right? But oftentimes it gets skewed, because sometimes we'll be dead in the wrong, right? Because there's a cause and reaction for everything. So when you try to get people to see your perception, you often, I don't know, I'm just being honest, people often leave out details, right? Because they want to be seen in a certain light. Tell me I'm right. No one wants to hear that they're wrong.
Ooh.
So when you take a step back and you deal with perspective, it's like, okay, it took two to tango. I was wrong. I shouldn't have reacted that way. I could have did this better. Right? You start looking on ways to self-improve yourself, but that only happens when you start dealing with perception. Right? It took a long time for me to truly understand that, and I think that's where I'm at with everything right now. I'm seeing everything from perspective. I'm very aware and consciously coherent of when I feel like I'm about to act off emotions. I'm very attentive to that now. Like, that was always my biggest downfall. So now I'm very attentive to that, and I try to move with perspective. Like, okay, if I do it this way, this is how this is going to come out. But I gotta give thanks to God because I wouldn't be where I am today. Unfortunately, I lost some stuff along the way, which I'm pretty sure we're gonna get into, which is dope. And I'm here right now. Yeah.
Well, one thing I love that you said is it takes two to tango. One thing that I won't do today is part my mouth to say it was somebody else's fault, because we all put ourselves in situations and we all have to be accountable. And when I think back of how I used to act back in the day, I kind of am like, wow, all of this time I was sitting there pointing fingers and blaming somebody else, and can't nobody hurt you but you. And can't nobody hurt you unless you allow them to. So what did you and when I go through it today, I'm like, damn, what the hell did you stay so long for? Like, I could be walking down the street, you could be walking down the street, and you can bump into somebody by accident and they have an attitude, and you can either make the decision to walk away and keep moving and remove yourself from it, take responsibility for your life and your situations that you got going on and remove yourself from it, or you can sit there and go back and forth and go round and round with somebody. So I love that part where you says it takes two to tango, because before you go pointing fingers and saying this person did that to me, this person did that to me, what role did you play in it? Because if you had just got up and take responsibility for your life, maybe you wouldn't be telling that story about what somebody did to you, because you stayed too long. You stayed in this situation. You stayed around that person too long, and you should have got up and take responsibility and move. And that's it. And you also said something too about always needing to be right. That is a big lesson that I learned, because I was always that person that always wanted to be right. I always wanted to be right. I always had to have the last word. And if you thought that you was going to, do one up on me, show you, like I said the other night, show you who I really was. So I don't do that today. You want to be right? Absolutely. In my mind, I be knowing that stuff ain't right. I'm trying not to cuss, but in my mind, I'd be like, this is just not right. But you know what? I'm gonna let this person think that they're right, because once you start going back and forth with somebody, you've already lost the game. It's a game. Once you start going back and forth with somebody, going round and round, saying you did this, you did that. No, it isn't. It has to be this way. Put it here, put it over there. No, once you start doing all that, you've already lost the game. So that was real dope. I like that. We
Yeah,
just
man. Like I said, that all comes with time and growth, right? When you're away from a situation and you're able to think right on everything, and you're able to truly grow. And like you said, people lack accountability, and I think it's often perpetuated to this victimization that's going on. People want to be victim because it brings to them a certain attention, and for a lot of people, it's very euphoric, which I doubt people would ever admit, right? Because whoever wants to say, whoever wants to say, yes, this is going on, I'm victimized, because like every other time you speak to, it could be a friend, it's the same problem, right? And I got to a point where, this is a true story, I was having a conversation with a friend, and she was telling me everything that was going on, and I got to the point I was like, you still ain't taking advice? Listen, for all this, just go back to your ex. I'm done speaking. I was done speaking.
Oh, well, I listen.
Done speaking because done speaking.
I got
true story. I was done speaking because I'm not gonna keep. One thing I'm not gonna do. I will understand, and the very first conversation, we had that conversation 3 times. The first 2 times I spoke to her, no lie, for about 4 hours each time. The third time came, I was like, okay, yeah, I'm done coddling you. Go back to your ex. I don't want to hear this no more. Anytime you speak, don't bring that up. You know what I mean? Sometimes, like I said, people, and I can't blame someone for their emotions being tied into where they are, right? It's natural. You wouldn't be human if you had no emotions, right? People are attached to the thing that they're scared to leave more often not because they're scared to start over from scratch. It's natural, right? It comes natural. You're scared. You're used. You know what I'm saying? You're used to the environment. You're used to the toxicity, right? So even if you do leave that person, you'll go into something else, and it'll be the same result because you're chasing the toxicity. So if someone comes along and they're like a healer, you're gonna toss aside the healer because you're not used to that. It's gonna spook you, and you're gonna run.
Yeah, that's called.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
You know?
That definitely is called. Go ahead. No, you go on.
Yeah. So yeah, you know. So that's a true story, and with me personally, like, you know, like I shared it with you. Even like I got engaged. It came to an end because I allowed what my ex did to me mentally and spiritually to shut me out, and I literally fell out of love of the person I was with. I literally fell out of love, and
can I?
And yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
So I know we had this conversation, but when things like that happen, this is where you say thank you, especially when it comes to marriage. I had to interject. I'm sorry, especially when it comes to marriage. People who have relationships where you break up with somebody, people who have marriages that don't last, engagements. There's a time where after the dust settles and all that stuff, you have to say thank you because you're not supposed to be together. Clearly, if you were supposed to be together, you would be together. And where we mess up sometimes is when you've already had the warning signs. First of all, way maybe 2, 3, 4 times before the actual breakup or separation happens. You just weren't listening. And that's the problem. But once you finally get to that point, self-reflect and you'll realize and you'll see that there were red flags. There were signs where things probably shouldn't have gone as far as it did in the first place. And God is just letting you know that that person wasn't for you. And the minute that we get up, the minute that we get out of the quicksand and stop staying stuck, the next situation, once you heal properly, is right around the corner. But a lot of us can't get to that person that's right around the corner waiting because we are staying stuck in quicksand, chasing people, and stalking people, and which puts us in a lower vibrational standpoint. And that other person is vibrating at a higher frequency, and you can't get to them because you didn't heal yet. Once you heal, you will elevate, and you'll be vibrating on a higher level. And listen, it's all smooth sailing at that point. And I'll also put this in healing and trying to elevate to another level. As my friend Miss McCall says, different worlds. There's several different worlds, and there's lower worlds. It's something that you have to work on every single day. It's not today, I'm in a higher world, but I just saw my ex, post something on Facebook, so now I'm gonna go ahead and be, a little grimy and dip down into a lower world doing some things and saying some things and texting people and saying, and then tomorrow I'm gonna go and work on it again, and it's the seesaw effect, and we going back and forth. You won't get to the next level that way. You have to truly forgive and embrace it, and like Nate said, accept that change. When that person comes up, that's something totally different and it feels weird. And it's not like that toxic, negative, dramatic situation that you were in before. A lot of times that's the person that's there to help you get to the next level. But we push them aside because, I'm going to go there. My girl, Mary J. Blige, has a song called Mr. Wrong. And she says it right there that, good boys ain't no fun. So for the ladies out there, if y'all feel that way, but y'all love the bad boys, then listen, you're going to keep getting what you're getting. So anyway, go ahead. Take it away.
Yeah, like I said, like I fell out of love with her, and then I had to have a moment of perspective, right? Like, and in that perspective, like I realized, like, the whole relationship, my whole engagement falling apart was my fault, right? Even though the reaction was due to the fact of me not being fully healed from the person that came before, right? Because it's a different type of feeling I had, right? Like, I'm pretty sure everybody on this, that's tuned into the live could attest to this. Like, the pain hits different when you mourn somebody while they are alive. It's different. It's a different type of emotion. It's a different type of pain, right? And that's how I felt with the woman before her, because I was going to propose. I remember we spoke about this when I was going to, and it didn't plan out. And I literally mourned her like she was dead and she's alive.
Wow.
And and I went to a very dark place, and I met the girl that I was with. We were best friends, and I made the move to get engaged. I got engaged, and everything was okay until I was on the path of peace. My ex popped up and wanted to have a conversation with me, and just like I said, mind you, I'm months removed from the situation, right? I'm months removed from it, and I was fine until until she started talking, and I realized she was trying to shape her perception to justify her actions. She was trying to make me believe that, this is why this, and I was like, no, you're completely wrong. That's not how that happened. You did what you did, being selfish, and that's okay, because right, we all have to be a tad selfish, but you did what you thought was best for you, right? In hindsight, how could I be mad at that, right? But I could be mad when me and you have had an agreement to let one of us know, because we were working on a friendship, that if somebody was going to try to talk to one of us, we would let the other one know.
Oh, no.
But mind you, but wait, Mary, I'm telling you, she was flirting with me the whole time, right? I didn't know. So then one day, she called me, and I was telling her, I was like, yo, listen, I got something to tell you. Someone's trying to talk to me, but I'm dubbing it because me and you supposed to go out one of these days, and we're going to have a deep talk. And then she was like, I got something to tell you. I've been talking to somebody for 2 months. And I was like, wait, what? Right? Completely off-sided, right? Completely blindsided, because I made peace with losing a lover months ago. I made peace with that. I literally made peace with that. If friendship is what you want to bring, then fine. I'm all in. Right? I'm okay with that. But now you betrayed that trust, because now you're alluding to a possible rekindling. And I'm like, okay. And I'm on the phone with you for the past 2 months, from literally sometimes till 6, 7 a.m. in the morning. And then I'm going to work right after. Right? So
you were saying so many things that's just let me know when it's my time. Go ahead.
Yeah, so so I'm checking her on certain things, and she literally was like, you know what, you're right. And went from, but Nate, you were doing this, and I was like, hold up. I only did that because you said such and such and such, such and such and such. Therefore, you're confessing things to me, professing things to me. I'm going to profess things to you. If I'm moving the way I'm moving, I'm keeping you. We had an agreement, and in hindsight, like I said, perspective is everything, right? I had to have the perspective to be like, he had no one around her growing up who ever stood on their word to her, right? So now I come along, and I'm standing on everything, right? I'm standing on morals, I'm standing on principles, I'm standing on my word, right? And she's scared of that. It's scared her to death. Which is fine. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's fine. That's not what someone is used to. Like how we said earlier, when someone's a breath of fresh air, you're so quick to, no, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? It's like, whoa, but listen, you don't fumble good people, right? You don't fumble them. You don't fumble people like that, right?
Or else if
it's okay.
if you do, you just have to repeat the lesson over again, and you're just gonna get some more trash until
And
you figure it out.
yeah, yeah, and it's unfortunate, right? Like I said, perspective is everything. So I was fine until we had that conversation, and I even said it in the middle of the conversation. I was like, "Yo, months removed, you would think that this would be an entirely different conversation." Like I was literally expecting an apology. It just went from, "Can we be cordial?" And I was like, "So you have nothing else to say at all?" Not saying that I'm owed an apology, but if we're gonna start off with that, we're feeling uncomfortable. Like, then let's lay it all on the table. I feel uncomfortable. You feel like it's okay to just walk up to me in front of people that you know.
Oh no.
Our parents both know that
no.
you feel comfortable approaching me
Mm-mm.
to ask if we can have a conversation in front of people that our parents both know. And I know if I deny said conversation, it's going to get back to my mother, dragging her into something she doesn't need to be a part of. Wow. So you planned it the way you did. That's number one. But okay. So, it went from, you know what, Nate, this, to now it went from, you're right, it was my fault. And I was like, it's really nobody's fault. Like, I should have known. Like, I should have known. Like, you showed me this before, right? Like, there's a glimmer of hope. I hold on to it because, that's because you were who I wanted. Like, I saw things with you, and I held on to that for the life of me. And then you just dropped me.
Listen.
And then, of course, I sit there, I analyze what I did wrong, what I could have done better, like how I always do. And then I improve on it. And then when you come and see me again, there's less stuff to complain about, but yet you find the smallest thing to complain about. You make excuses.
I want to help you here a little bit. And this is one thing that I have to say for everybody out there, because I have been there before. I see West Virginia Uncommon Place podcast out there. What's going on? And Ghost Whisperer says, "Expect nothing in life from others," and that is so true. Like, even when we do things for people, don't expect anything in return. And I had to learn that lesson too, because I would always do stuff for people, right? And then when they didn't do something in return, I would catch an attitude. And the first thing I would say is, all of this that I've done for you. And no, my friend had to tell me, no, that's not how it works. When you do something for somebody, when you give somebody something, if you're giving it in love and you're giving it from your heart, you won't expect anything in return. It's not a tit for that tat. It's not, I did this, now it's time for you to do it. I went here for you and you come there for me. It comes from the heart. So we got to be very careful when we are expecting things in return from other people, because sometimes people can't even give us what they can't even give themselves. So if I don't love myself, how can I love you? And you want me to love you, but I don't even love me, and I don't even know who I am. So a lot of our situations and our issues start right there, because we don't even love ourselves enough to know that this ain't even working for us. Like, if you loved yourself, you wouldn't even stay there in this disrespectful, low down, dirty type of situation that you're in. But because you don't love yourself, you stay in these situations and you go back and forth with these people, round and round and round, begging, pleading, expecting people to give you something that they can't even give themselves. Because listen, if they don't love you and you show up as the best person that you could be, and you've been good to them, and you've been loyal, and you've been faithful, and you've been doing all of the extra and going over and beyond, and they ain't loving you, please, that person don't even love themselves. So that's an exit sign for you to just back up and say, listen, I'm not going to make this mistake. I'm not going to be in a situation loving somebody who doesn't even love themselves. Forget about loving me. I need you to love yourself. That's the first thing. Another thing that I want to put out there is when the relationship and the situation is over, ladies and gentlemen, that's exactly what that means. We are human beings who were brought into this world by ourselves, unless you were born with a twin. But then again, y'all came out at different times. Y'all didn't both come out at the same time. We are brought into this world by ourselves, And I know for some of the old school people out there, the parents said, you were brought into this world and I could take you out. We were brought into this world by ourselves and we're going to leave by ourselves. We all got our own individual paths and our own individual journeys. And one thing that is not love is control. And I'm only speaking from experience because that used to be me. When a relationship is over and a person doesn't love you anymore and they say it's a wrap, that's what that means. You don't love that person if you want them to stay just to make you happy. And I used to be that person that says, "Oh, really? Oh, you think that you're going to leave me? After all this that I've done for you, you think that you're going to leave me? Oh, I'm about to go in and turn up." That's how I used to be. And then I would turn up so bad that people would actually be scared to leave me. So now you got somebody that's sitting around you and hanging around you, but they don't really want to be around you. It's all fake and it's all just whatever. And then when they get out in the streets and they get around whoever they want to get around, they doing whatever they do. So that's that toxic, that's that crazy, that's that stuff, that lower vibrational stuff that when I can say today, I'm so thankful that I'm not in that place anymore. I'm so thankful that I'm not doing that to myself because you are basically manipulating and trying to control a situation and keeping somebody trapped in bondage and captivity when they don't want to be there anymore. When someone says that it's over, you should be okay with it and just be like, all right, cool. Then boom, because that means that the next thing is right around the corner as long as I release you from my prison, release you from all of the issues and the nonsense that we've been in, and stop pointing fingers. My best days are ahead. So I want to give it to you like that because it sounds like you're coming from a place where you still need to heal a little bit.
Yeah, no, of course. Like I said, it's all a matter of perspective, right? Like I said, I've healed a lot from the situation, but I know, right? You can't just put something behind you when you've been affected heart and soul wise, right? Because when a part of you dies, it's meant to stay dead, right? And my biggest mistake going into the new relationship, right? I was still trying to hold on to the person I was with the person I was with before her. Mm. And which led to our conversation before we got off the phone. You can't chase after the old you. It died for a reason.
Yeah, or old relationships or old people. Yeah, I would get with somebody.
Yeah,
I would get with somebody.
Parts of you die for a reason. And you can't chase that because if you're chasing that, you're chasing the same mindset and emotions that you felt at that time, and it could throw you off of your square, and that could also cause depression. You know what I mean? That could cause depression.
Let me tell you how it is about chasing something that you once had. Like you were with this person and they were just amazing and it didn't work out. So you meet the next person, you try to turn that person into that person, making them dress like this one, making them, wear the same cologne or things like that. I used to be that person. Like somebody left out of my life that wasn't. And then I got into a new relationship and this person in my mind wasn't as fly as what I had before. So I was like, all right, so we're going to play a little dress up. I need you to wear this. I need you to, do the things that my ex used to do. I wasn't outright telling them that, but in my mind, I was crafting that. Something called karma, because a few years later, things shifted and turned around. And next thing you know, I was the puppet, being dressed up and put, into this situation. And then when I started to peel back the onion and start to look at old pictures, I see myself resembling, somebody else's ex. I'm like, damn, this ain't me. You trying to make me look like this person because you're still missing that. So we got to be very careful about playing dress up and trying to chase after. And like I said, when it's gone, and you need to just let it go. Let it be a memory. And if you're trying to do stuff like that, that's a sign that you probably need to be by yourself and you need to heal.
Yeah, like in my case, it turned to, like after that conversation we had, it turned to literally hate because in my mind, right, and then, like I've learned this just through my growth and my healing. Not everybody is going to move and accelerate at the same level that you do, right? So not everybody's going to have the same amount of growth and learn within the same amount of time frame that you do. God has blessed me to be able to grow from situations very quickly and learn very quickly, right? So when I was months removed, I'm expecting a mature conversation. Like, are we really going to discuss what happened? I'm all forward if we are. And when it became, oh, but it was because of you, and I was like, okay, so you're not going to admit you had any part in how this happened? You're not at all. Mm. And it made me hate her. And it made me hate women for a very long time. And that soured the relationship I was in because I didn't believe a word she said. I refused to believe a word she said. And this was me fresh off of baptism, right? I'm trying to find my peace. I'm moving in peace. And you came to me and it appeared as peace. So therefore, I'm going to be the mature person and have that conversation with you. Right? And then when that conversation started, oh yeah, but this. And without me knowing, I was mature enough to identify you're trying to justify and make me see to validate your perception of why you did what you did.
So this is what I have
That's what you were trying to do. Then she brought up, and then she said out the blue, she literally said out the blue, she looked at me and was like, I know this could never happen again. And I looked at her and I was like, I didn't say nothing about that. You sound unsure about your own relationship.
It sounds like you got a lot of back and forth going on with this person, and
I did. But
I would just listen. It's a wrap. You got so many great things going for you, and I'm gonna just give you your props right now. You're a photographer, so everybody out there who's seen the things that I post on my social media pages, Nate Perry mixed with my content manager definitely has that's Nate Perry. He does all that photo shoots and stuff like that. So you got that going for yourself. You got your spiritual walk. You are a poet, a writer.
Yeah, the project on the way. February 2028, the King of Hearts Part 2. I mean, it's already finished. I finished it in like a day, but I just figured I'll just keep this in the tuck for a while. I don't want to release it right away. And I realized I healed from that past situation when this project wasn't even supposed to happen. It was supposed to be another project, and it was very toxic. But I felt like love again, and just within me, which prompted the King of Hearts Part 2 because it wasn't going to be that, and it came out so naturally. I finished it in like 6 hours.
You definitely.
That's why I told you earlier. Like I'm healed from the situation because I was helping somebody do their own stuff, and when I was explaining what happened, like to me, I was able to laugh at it, and like I mentally made a note of that, like Nate, it's okay. Just acknowledge that you heal from it, because a lot of times, like we won't acknowledge that we heal from it, and I feel like it's often a step missed, right? Because some of us don't want to acknowledge it. I had to take a second out that conversation, and I got quiet and like I smiled. And I was like, okay, I just laughed about that. I'm over it.
Well, that's a good point. When you can smile, like I said, you can breathe in peace. That's good. Yeah. You got all of these great things going for you. It sounds like some of these relationships and this back and forth that you have done in the past. I know you said it wasn't now. It sounds like a lot of those things can be a form of distraction. So for people who have something going for themselves, people are talented, you got a great job, you got a nice car, you got some money. Sometimes people will show up as a distraction to take you off your game. So you got to be very careful. Like I said, so sometimes when things don't work well, we have to be thankful in a moment and we have to have that attitude of gratitude because we can be ready to be at the top of our game or climbing our way up. And somebody can come in and be a distraction and keep us to go back and forth, be stuck in that quicksand, go round and round 1,000 times. And while you going back and forth, going around 1,000 times, you're losing footing, you're losing ground, and you can miss your opportunity. There are distractions. Sometimes people, relationships, jobs, um, the materialistic things that we chase after that we accumulate, sometimes they can be distractions to take us up off of our game. So for you, just from me on the outside looking in, I don't know the situation, I don't know lady, but based off of the conversation that you and I are having today, it sounds like you have had a lot of distractions that are trying to kick you off your game, sir, because I know the things that you got coming and I know what you have going on. And somebody like you, man, please, I wouldn't even be worried about it. Wouldn't even be worried about it.
Like I made a decision. Like I want to be by myself for a while. I made that decision, and I'm at peace with my decision. Like I need that for me. Like I need that for me, and I'm satisfied with it. Right? Not a lot of people are okay with being alone. I'm okay with being alone. Actually, I feel like I do most of my best work and growth when I'm alone.
Of course.
Right? Because more often than not, you have to recognize who you are.
Absolutely.
You have to recognize who you are in terms of like, are you a healer? Because now if you're a healer, you're thrown off your game too. Because now you're attending to somebody else, you're trying to heal them. Like you're not working on yourself as much. Whereas if you're by yourself, now you can focus on you like 100%. So that's what I'm doing right now. Like I'm just saying to myself, getting back to writing like how I used to. The writing is coming out fluent, and that's what I can really ask for, man. Like, I'm just in the path of peace. I'm enjoying my walk.
I feel you, brother. Let me tell you, it's been 3 years for me since I have been in a relationship like that. I'm not talking about these little situations that I've had after, but like a true, real relationship. It's been like 3 years, and I'm good because I'm able to separate the BS from the truth. So I'll be like, nope. And finally, I was at the point where I'm like, all this swiping left and right and all this BS like that, man, I'm so good. Like I'm not chasing after nothing today. I'm not. I think that these dating apps and stuff like that, and when you're out there, at the bars and clubs and trolling, all that is chasing, and that's not, a divine situation of your so-called person that you're supposed to be with. I don't believe it, and that's just my perspective. I don't believe it, so I had to give all of that stuff up. And once I stopped doing it, I realized that damn, you just leveled up because you are no longer seeking outside of yourself, and that's the problem. And I'm just speaking from experience. I can't say nothing for anybody else, but that was my problem. Always seeking for validation, always seeking for that, excitement, that thrill outside of self, and looking for somebody else to, give me all of that. And once I started to learn how to, look within self, I mean, I can find a relationship tomorrow if I want to. But I choose to know that this person that's presenting themselves right now, they're not what I'm looking for. So situations will start to present themselves to you once you start to care for yourself and know who you are a little bit better and not stay stuck in those lower situations. So I feel you, stay on your journey, stay on your path, and no one's going to show up. Trust and believe they won't show up if you're not ready. And there are times where the person was here, but then I said about that going back and forth. You can't be on that seesaw. You might can meet somebody, but if you're not mentally right, because you're too busy thinking about the past or thinking about that ex or thinking about that situation. That person will slip right through your fingers. I've had that happen before. Like, you were here, we were engaging, this was good, we were dating, but that phone rang and I picked it up, and instead of just, blocking that number and letting it go, I decided to go back and forth, and I decided to go round and round. I decided to give you one more chance, and now that other situation that I had on the left side is gone because you already done broke. You broke the game plan. You know what I'm saying? So stay on your path. Is somebody like you, as talented as you are, man, you need to stay focused. And then that's coming from me. That's coming from somebody who was so unfocused a couple years ago. Like I said, I was all over the apps. I was traveling here, traveling there, doing some dumb stuff. So as you get with yourself, certain things will unlock. You keep knocking, certain doors will be open. You may not have time to knock. You may not time to have think. You may not have time to think when you're too busy chasing, swiping, and doing this and doing that and going into places that we probably shouldn't be going in. So, oh yes, SOS says, don't forget, people teach us. Absolutely, people are here to teach us a lesson, and if we don't learn, we destined to repeat this thing over and over again. Dark Knight, thank you so much. Good night. I appreciate you for hanging in there with me tonight. So we definitely went in. We went in tonight. Nate, do me a favor and let the people know where they can get in contact with you at.
Get in contact with me at my IG at Nate Terry Photography. That's the best way to reach me if you want. If you need any photos and photo works done, as you can see, like Maren said, me and him collaborate together. I'm one of the creative directors for his photography, so I come up with the concepts and basically like the idea situation of how we're going to shoot, and everything just flows naturally. I think that's the best thing about like our chemistry with each other, is that everything just flows. Nothing is forced, which is why the work comes out so great. I'm available 24/7. Just shoot me a DM or shoot me an email. My email is attached to the Instagram, and you can start working on something.
I'll say that the last photo shoot that we did, I was thinking of something totally different. I was thinking of going into the studio, and you were like, how about we do it outside? And I'm like, I had my mind focused on going into the studio. So, but then I learned, you know what? Sometimes, you just need to do things, sit back and shut up sometimes. So I was like, all right, I'm going to just let you do everything. And then you showed me something, and I was like, yo, like, I ain't trying to, I'm not going to say what I said because I ain't saying too much, but I'm like, nah, we don't do that over here. Like, come on now. So,
let me tell you, that's still one of my favorite shots you did. That's still one of my favorite shoots.
It's going.
That's still one of them.
It's classic. It's a classic material right there. I know I'm gonna look back years from now and be like, wow. And it was needed because I was going away for over a year, and just the way my mindset, when I look at the pictures, I can see the mindset that I was in at that time, and to see where I'm at here today, and go to, all of the podcasts that I recorded, and to, we're talking about it now, but to see where I was at that moment is classic, and it almost like where I was at that moment was just captured in those photos. So this is a classic material.
Thank you.
Classic material.
Thank you too.
Thank you so much for that.
You got me published. You got me professionally published my first time, and then I went on to do some other work. One of my portraits was in the Forbes. I'm supposed to be working with a Detroit rapper called Joe Spano. Want to give a shout out to him. Joe Spano and his producer, 19 Keys. I look forward to working with them. So, you put me on the journey, bro, and I'm blessed. So, like you said, everything's coming together on God's time. Like,
And shout out to,
I mean? Like, so,
yeah, shout out to because Canvas Rebel
yeah, shout out to them too.
definitely did their thing
Yeah, shout out to them.
when it came to that.
Yeah,
So
shout out to Canvas Rebel.
yeah, so
Shout out to them as well.
Mr. Nate Perry, my friend, my brother from Brooklyn, New York, thank you for holding me down. Thank you for all of the love and support. And I found you on the 411 podcast. Isn't that something?
Yeah,
Full
that's crazy.
circle,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And that was meant to be. Like, that's why I used to say, like, when I would question myself, should I continue to do the show? When I look back on things, it's like, of course, like so many people that I've met, our partnership grew from that. If I hadn't gone on that night and done that show, y'all wouldn't see all of this stuff that y'all see here. The color coordination and all of that stuff, man, please. I'm thankful for
Yeah,
it.
man, God is moving with us, bro, and I think it's important that we just move with His purpose, right? Like now, I learn like I'm gonna just start taking things to Him for His approval before I even make my decision.
Absolutely. Look, listen, that's a whole nother situation about making quick decisions. Because I'll raise my hand. I was right there. Anything that I wanted it right now. I was so. Oh yeah, we buying this now. Let's go ahead and swipe this card right now because we getting this right now. We want this right now. Um, I want to be in that. I want to be in that relationship right now. I want to be in a relationship. Please tell me that y'all ain't out there sitting there saying I want to be in a relationship so bad. I want to be in a relationship. You want to be in a relationship. You don't even know who it is. You just sitting here begging and speaking that you want to be in something that you have no idea. And most of the time when you get into that situation, you're going to be wishing that you weren't in it. And so when you are single, don't be so worried about it because of the people who are in relationships. Sometimes they want out. They want out and you want in. You need to be content exactly where you're at and know who you are so that if you do get into a situation, you're able to handle it properly. It's so funny. Somebody told me that this person who has a house, this one has a car, this one's married, they got the kids, and you think that they got the life. Meanwhile, on the inside, at nighttime, they're screaming on the inside out because they want out. They don't want that. They thought they did. And then everybody running around trying to get married and do this because they think that that's the life. One thing I can say, y'all can have all that. The person that I am today, y'all can have all of that. I am so good.
Yeah, man. Listen, you know what? It's not for everybody, right? And and I respect that, right? Not everybody's path is marriage. Everybody has their own path and their own walk, right? But to what we said earlier, you have to get out of your own perception sometimes, right? Like there has to be a point in time where you start thinking bigger picture. That's perspective. I think everything is guided towards a now time signature because we live in a times where everything has to be now. It has to be now. It has to be now. Like the art of like just appreciating and like basically like the art of seduction is gone, right? Like seduction, not in the sense of sexual, but just in a sense of like like you approach the situation, you continue to see the situation, then it grows, and then it forms to something else. There's none of that. Everybody is just now, and then when the now is gone, because you're chasing trends, you're gone.
Absolutely. That's that instant gratification. We want everything right now. We want it immediately.
Instant gratification. Yeah.
And you ain't supposed to have all of that.
Gratification. And when the mystique goes away, you don't feel anything, right? Everything is euphoric. Right?
Yeah.
Like people are chasing euphoria. They're not chasing. They're not really chasing what they're chasing. They're not really chasing what they want. They're chasing euphoria.
Mm-hmm.
because it's euphoric. Oh, this feels right now. Yeah, and then right now disappears because we're chasing something. Oh yeah, no, it's not the situation I wanted.
I feel you.
Damn. You know what I'm saying?
you know. Thank you so much, SOS. So now we went in, which I knew that was going to happen because this is my brother. That's what I do when we get together. And I'm still coming to Brooklyn. I still want to go to, places to eat out there. So, you know, this time around, we coming back. Next time I come, we going out to eat somewhere. Definitely.
Oh man, I feel you know.
But now's the time for burning questions. This is a segment of the show where I flip it, and I try not to put my guests in a hot seat. But there's no putting you in a hot seat because you just basically gave us all that great knowledge today, and there was no fear right there. So, burning questions tonight. Question that I have for you is, what do you feel most often in your life? Gratitude or envy? Which I think you sort of answered that a little bit, but if you can wrap it up for us a little bit tonight and let us know, what do you feel often in your life, gratitude or envy? And people out there, you can respond in the comments once this is posted and everything tonight. You can write your response in there as well to the burner question. You can also text me at 609-738-0611, and you can let me know what you feel about the burning question. If you have a burning question that you'd like me to bring up on a future podcast, that's your opportunity to do so. And you can also let me know if you'd like to keep it anonymous as well. 609-738-0611. That is the official 411 hotline. What do you feel more often in your life? Gratitude or envy?
What do I feel more often in my life? Gratitude and envy. I say more gratitude. But I also have to acknowledge there is a side of me that thrives on revenge and hurt. I have to acknowledge that side of me because I think it's in all of us.
Absolutely.
But I feel more gratitude than anything because I have a lot to be thankful for. I've made it out of situations where I know if most people were in my shoes, they would still be stuck. So it's more gratitude. I've had more gratitude than envy. Like I said, like you have to acknowledge those moments where you had envy, and
absolutely.
I have to acknowledge those moments and acknowledge that there is a side of me and push to a point where all I want to see is you hurt in any type of way possible.
Yeah.
And that's true. That's true with me. Like I won't be sad. Like I remember just being like how we always are honest and open. Like my ex-fiance, he was like, when is this thing with you and your ex gonna be done, this film of revenge? And I was like, it's not gonna be over until either someone from my family dies or something happens to her, and I feel like I'm satisfied.
Oh no. Oh.
But that's me being honest.
I feel you. I feel you.
Being honest.
Yeah, I feel you.
Wrong. Yes, wrong. Yes, right? Wrong.
Well,
but at the same time, and she was like, well, it's sickening, and I remember telling her, like, you're not allowed to tell me how I'm supposed to feel. How could you? You're not in my shoes. You didn't feel what I felt. You might be able to understand to an extent, but you've never really given yourself to a person like that before, right? This is just going apart. But the envy part that you said, right? There's a side of me that I have to acknowledge that exists. It didn't just happen in that situation. There's been moments in my life where I will thrive on the person that I have an issue with. If something happens to them, okay. If I feel like it's satisfying enough for me to let the issue die and I feel then I can let it go, then I'll let it go. That part of me, but I have more gratitude than anything. because I was taught to stand on morals and principles. It doesn't mean that I'm not allowed to feel certain things, right? There's a cause and effect. When someone tells you that you hurt them, you don't get to decide that you did it. That's wrong.
No, I agree.
Very wrong.
I agree. We are all mirrors. We're all one and the same. Just like a coin, there are two sides of a coin. There are two sides to us. Make a decision every day whether we are going to walk around with gratitude or we're going to walk around with an attitude. We're going to forgive people or are we going to seek revenge? So today, I have to say that I have an attitude of gratitude. Back in the day, I could not say that. I went decades.
I had both. I even had both then too, which I can honestly tell you, I had both. Like I didn't really, and like I said, like for most people out there, like I know there had to have been a situation where you were scared of yourself. I've had maybe 4 of those moments in my life. Within the 27 years of my life on this earth, I've had about maybe 4 moments in my life where I've been truly scared of myself. And each of those moments are because of that side of me where it's like, okay, I'm all in. I'm all in with this hate. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm all in. Like,
I hear
you don't have to be. Like, it's okay. It's okay. But I'm all in. You know what I mean? Like you said, like, you don't have to be all in with it. I am.
Well,
I'm going to feel how I feel.
Here's the thing.
That's the thing. I'm not going to wish bad on you. If that happens to you and I find out, I'm going to laugh. Like, that's...
Oh, you know what? I'm not listening to you. I am not listening to you. This is...
We're having an honest conversation.
You know what?
Like,
that's the New York...
There's a side of me that exists. There's a side of me that exists. Right? To deny that side of you is literally like denying who you are. Right? You have to accept, like people have to learn to accept themselves, good and bad. I am a very humble person. I wake up positive attitude. I'm fine until you bring that energy to me that I didn't bring to you. Now we have a conflict, right? Now where that conflict goes is totally up to the person, right? And it's also up to so the ball's in your court at the same time because you dictate where it's gonna go.
You know what?
You choose to feed into it or walk away. More often than not, I find myself nowadays walking away. I don't view it's not worth my time.
You know,
worth extra energy, right?
You know what I'm gonna do for you? I'm gonna do for you that last comment. You got me. You know what I'm gonna do for you? I'm gonna give you 1 hour, 1 hour of the coaching sessions. You and I need to have a deep dive coaching session where it's just me and you. That's it. No cameras, no none of this. You can't be walking around like that, sir. That's that New Yorker in you. Oh man. So
I don't walk around like that. It's more so like, and I think I really like, and that's the thing. Like bringing it back to perspective, right? This all stems from like me losing my grandfather, right? Because I felt like nobody was there, and I was telling my mother this the other day. I was like, "Ma, I felt like everything was a blur until after high school." My grandfather died when I was in 5th grade, which means everything felt like a blur until I graduated high school. Everything was a blur. Everything.
Yeah, that's real deep. But you are.
You know what I mean? So like that part of me exists because it was like, okay, now I lost somebody. I didn't really properly process with it. So now if you want to push me into that mode, okay, it exists. I know I could go there. I know you don't want to go there. I think that's my, that comes with perspective again, right? Growth, right? Like even though we move with integrity and stuff like that, you can't spare everybody. You're going to be a villain in somebody's story at one point or another, right? Even if years after, when they get that perspective, they'll say, in hindsight, you were doing the good thing. You were doing right by them, right? But it takes them being away from the situation to gain that knowledge to realize, you know what? He wasn't an asshole. Mm-hmm. He really had my best interest at heart, or she had my best interest at heart. right? You're going to be involved in somebody's story, no matter if you move with honor and integrity.
And you can't.
Peace. You're going to be, you can't please everybody.
And there you go. That's it. That's what I was waiting for. Right. You have to take care of yourself.
You can't please everybody.
You got to take care of yourself.
Yeah, you have to, right?
Yeah.
And I learned that was a valuable lesson for me, because you can't give someone 100%, even though you want it to work so bad when they're not giving 100%.
This is
right.
This is the thing.
That was my lesson.
This is the thing I have to say. You can never give anybody 100%, because what you operating off of, if you give them 100%, how you gonna give somebody 100% of you and then you don't have nothing left to operate and make sure that you're functioning properly? So be very careful with that. Be very careful with that 50-50.
It was a lesson learned, like you said. Lesson learned.
Yeah.
Lesson learned. Do I regret it? That's a deeper question. Do I regret it? I regret nothing of it.
Absolutely.
It showed me that I'm able to love deeply when I feel like it's right. You know what I mean? Like, I know I could go there, but right now, so I don't hurt anybody else, I'm gonna stay to myself for a while. Just keep reflecting and looking at things from perspective, right? But constantly assess what I did wrong. Sometimes on the regular, I'm like, well, something random popped up from like 10 years ago. Yeah, I couldn't handle that better. You know what I mean? Like,
here's what I got for you.
Growing.
Stay focused. Stay focused on what's coming in the future. Don't look back. What happened in the past. Stay focused on what's coming in the future. Stay in the present moment. Enjoy what you got going on here now. You will stay stuck. You will stay in quicksand if you keep hashing about what I should have done, what I could have done, how did this happen. Just stay in the moment. Stay in peace. Move forward. Every time you look back, you can't see where you're going because you're too busy looking back. So stay forward. Stay focused.
No, of course. Like, I don't live in the past. Like, I can't live in the past. And that goes to what I told you, right? I need to chase the person I used to be, because that used to be like, well, my ex-fiance, she'd be like, I want to get the person back that I was with, and it struck a chord with her, and I was like, I can't be that person, because he died for a reason. That's how he got killed off for a reason. Like, all I could do was move forward. Like, you could get to know the person I am now and developing into now, but you trying to put pressure to, and I understand you have, your concerns with, like, you can get to know the person I am now, or if not, then it's okay. Like, we can still be friends if you want, but like, this is the person I'm developing into now. Like, I can't, certain things I'm not going to tolerate. I'm not going to tolerate anymore. I'm not, like, I'm just at a certain age, even though I'm young in most people's eyes, but old in other people's eyes. Like, I'm just not going to tolerate certain things anymore. Like, I can't, and I won't. You know what I'm saying? Like, before, you would take whatever because you were so desperate for that relationship to work. I'm no longer desperate. I'm me.
Wow.
I know what I bring to the table within myself, right? But I still got more growing to do. Everybody does. No one is perfect. Only perfect person is God. So I'm going to just try to keep walking my path that I'm destined to walk. Literally. That's scary.
Wow. I mean, what can I say except that the destined and written for you? It's insane how things happen. It's actually, let me take that back. It's very mystical how things happen, how it lines up. These are all topics, ladies and gentlemen, that I have had in my mind, and I podcasted out on a solo back in May. And then here we are now doing a live version of it, and the same topics that I was speaking about all the way back in May. Here we are talking about it now. And the guests that are coming on the show here, as you can see that this is real life situations that we have going on. That's what we do here on the 411. How mystical is it that it lines up properly, and like this show was written specifically for you? So I want to say thank you. We
People out there listening too, listen. It was meant for you to tune in and listen too. You know what I mean? Like, we're sharing real life experience, and like Aaron said, like, you're tuning in and listening, you might be going through a similar situation.
Yeah,
this was just God directing you towards us tonight. You know, if we gotta spread our testimony for you to hear and truly listen, that's God giving you the alley-oop to hear. People are going through this, but they see it through. Just keep trusting God. That's the best advice I could give y'all.
Wow. Well, Mr. Nate, I want to say thank you so much for coming on. And one more time, if you can please let people know where they can holler at you. I know you're on Instagram. How can they? Go ahead, let us know.
You can catch me at Nate Perry Photography. Like I said, just hit me in the DM for any photo shoots and stuff like that. Or my email is also underneath there. Be on the lookout for my photo shoot coming soon with Joe Spano and 19 Keys, Detroit rapper and producer. Some of the best up and coming out the city. And me and Lyran have something planned. Eventually, once we probably go off this, I'm gonna call you. We're gonna talk about it.
That's what's up.
Yeah, you know, big stuff coming. Big stuff coming for us, man. Can't wait.
Yeah. Well, you stay safe out there. I know I'm gonna talk to you soon, and I was real about that coaching session. So you got an hour. You know, I know my schedule is a little tight, but I'm gonna definitely send you the information afterwards. So we'll get you that, and stay safe out there, and don't hurt anybody.
All right, bro, man. I love you.
All right, love you too. Take care now. All right, Charles. So there you have it. That was Mr. Nate Perry, all the way from Brooklyn, New York. Wow. Like I said, this show was like specifically set up for him. I want to say written for him in that perspective. But wow, we went in tonight. So many different conversations and topics. You know, we're talking about being thankful, having an attitude of gratitude once you realize that you've come out on the other end. And you won't really realize that when you're in the thick of it, put it that way. Usually it takes time for you to get with self. It takes time for you to separate yourself from the situation that you're in, to think back. And we're talking about sometimes it's months, sometimes it's years, sometimes it might be a decade. Like I had this year, after being so angry, being so disrespectful, being just not a good person to my father for so many years, blaming him for stuff that happened in the childhood that really wasn't, on him. It was basically on me, because your parents can only give you what they can give you. They only doing what they know how to do. So I was upset because he wasn't what I thought he would be as a father. And I had to look back and say, you know what, Lyran, you were dead wrong. You were dead wrong the way that you would talk to him. You were dead wrong the way that you used to disrespect him. So I never thought it would be a day where I would actually go to my father after all of the nonsense that I said to him, after all of the ways that I've treated him, and say, you know what? I have to take that back. I'm sorry. I apologize. There is no good reason for me to be acting the way that I was for so many years. Yeah. And I was shocked that I was able to do that. So that comes with forgiveness. That comes with being able to say, you know what, thank you. All of the stuff that I went through, I wouldn't be here today. So my father played a role in that part. My parents played a role in the part of where I'm at today. Exes and relationships played a role. Disrespectful bosses at jobs played a role. So sometimes certain things and people who are put in our lives and put in our worlds, it's part of the process and it's part of the plan. We won't get out of here. Part of the process and part of the plan. It's not always that somebody's doing something to you. Sometimes when we get away, we separate ourselves, cut out all of the noise, stop all of the drama, stop all of the arguing, stop all of the back and forth. We're able to sit back and ask ourselves, okay, so I see that this situation is here today. What is it that I'm supposed to learn out of this situation here right now? We have to accept people for who they are. People can only give us what they can give us. We can't try to make them give something that they can't. And that's one of the biggest things. Accept people for who they are. If I had done that, my life would have been so much better. Um, in the past, it would have been so much better versus me trying to make somebody be something that they're not. Accept people for who they are, where they stand, what they bring. When they show you who they are, believe them the first time, not the second, third, fourth, or fifth. They showed you and told you the first time. Now, what you do with it is on your own. It is what it is. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to call this a wrap for tonight. The 411 podcast. You can go ahead and check me out at Laren Gaines on all of my social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, TikTok, DLive, Twitch, Daily Motion, everything at Laren Gaines. You can also go and head on over to LarenGaines.com and check out my website. I got that coaching session for you. If you want the same type of conversation that we have going on here tonight, but you want a more one-on-one, intimate setting with me, we can set that up. Go ahead and head on over to LarenGaines.com. You can also sign up for my Whispers of Wisdom. That's a new newsletter that's coming out next month. You can go ahead and sign up for that at Laren Gaines as well. You're going to get 411. You're going to get Reading Between the Wines. You're going to get wine samples. You're going to get travel situations with my segment that's Vacation with Me. Speaking of Vacation with Me, if you want to get some discounts on vacations and need help setting up an itinerary, you can also head on over to Laren Gaines for that too. So sign up for the newsletter because you're going to get bits and pieces of what I have going on at LarenGaines.com, which is fueling the 411 podcast and Reading Between the Wines. Everything that you see here now, it ties back to LarenGaines.com. All right, I got that out of the way. Now, we have Mr. Robert Stubblefield coming in the building tomorrow with Reading Between the Wines, and I will be sampling this bottle right here. I believe that I sampled this before, but I can't remember, so I had to pick up another bottle. So we got Old Moon Zinfandel. It's real cold here in New Jersey, so what a great way to sample with some Zinfandel. Not the white Zinfandel. This is the red Zinfandel. And tomorrow's going to be real cold, so this is going to be real soothing to Old Moon. We just had a full moon too, so what a great time it is to open this bottle of wine too here. Old Moon. So come back tomorrow, Read Between the Wines, Robert Stubblefield, right here at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I don't know where y'all calling from. We got people from all over the place, but I will be sampling this bottle of wine tomorrow. Thursday, we have Miss SOS. She was out there. Thank you so much, SOS. I can't wait to speak to her as well. She's coming in on Thursday. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, it's a wrap. I want to say thank you so much for coming in and checking me out tonight. It's been a great show. Mr. Nate Perry, all the way from Brooklyn, New York. Thank you for coming in and doing your thing too. Man, you definitely did your thing sharing with us tonight. Amazing. Keep doing your thing. Stay up. And we will definitely be in touch. Good night, y'all. Have a good night.